very first development position was at the Denver Art Museum with Jen Darling. And so I was working with her as she and others were sort of conceiving of and building the program, and have huge professional respect for her and Bonnie Downing and Dorothy Harrell and many others. And as soon as I heard of the idea, I remember thinking, that's something I want to do.
ILD was something that I feel became a buzzword in the nonprofit industry in Denver. And within a year or two of hearing that term over and over, I quickly figured out that it was something I wanted to be a part of.
Once I applied and sort of understood the real thought that went together to kind of orchestrate what that class looked like, it made me even more excited to be a part of it.
It's a commitment from the students, from the funders, from the volunteers and the instructors. It's a one-year cohorted program. It's very high touch, it's very intimate, and I know that when you talk to the alumni and the students of the program, that's one of the things they value the most.
I think I was at a point in my career where I was hungry, and I wanted to get to the next level of management and fundraising, but could acknowledge that I needed some tools to help propel me to that level. And I knew that the ILD program offered a level of rigor and expertise that I wasn't going to be able to get from a conference or a webinar. I mean, it truly was a one-year program.
I think we all need to remind ourselves of that as we go through the year, that this program is top-notch, and it's because of the people.
It really exceeded my expectations. As I mentioned, I didn't have any training similar to that in the past, and so a lot of the continuing education that I've done have been 90-minute workshops at various conferences that I've attended over the years, and so this was a very different experience.
The difference about ILD is just the expert content that is shared and how applicable it is as soon as you return to the office. Whether you work in major gifts, whether you work at a higher institution or a small shop. I mean, what ILD gives you is the tools to go back and say, okay, I'm not going to take this and I'm going to run with it immediately.
So having ILD there to sort of deepen some of my strengths and help me see best practices and some of the nuances to development at every stage made it made me a better development officer, but also I think really made me more passionate about development, or sort of helped me refine the passion, because things were getting to be a little routine, and sort of finding all these new skills, all these new networks sort of made the profession, more appealing.
I do go back to my ILD notebook, and I refer back to the Emergenics program that we did to give myself a pulse and say, hey, where am I at? And as my team grows, how can I be a better manager? How can I flex to different personality types? A large way that ILD has contributed to me and my work in philanthropy is the way in which I approach people. And that's both from a staff perspective and also from a donor perspective.
ILD was very helpful to me to introduce me to more relationship-based fundraising.
You know, I work with a couple people who didn't have the opportunity to go through ILD, but you say ILD and they're ready to jump on board with anything because it has a reputation for quality.
ILD has filled a great niche in the community and has really developed a talented pool of fundraisers and great leaders for our philanthropic community here in Colorado.
We now have graduated more than 130 fundraising professionals, and they are working, most of them in Colorado. The vast majority have stayed here. I think so the pipeline is being filled.